With this vial of the lizard's blood, I was able to mix up a cure and turn him back into Dr. Connors. Too bad it didn't last.
Hey, Scaly! Know where I can get a little tail?
Well, I definitely found someone's tail, but I don't think that's the type that Peter's talking about. Anyways, welcome back, true believers and all you spectacular Spidey fans, to another really exciting Spider-Man PS4 related video. And in this video, we are once again going over the upcoming comic tie-in series that relates to Spider-Man PS4, which is indeed titled Spider-Man City at War. So in case you're unaware as to what City at War is, it pretty much is a comic tie-in to Spider-Man PS4's base story while telling parts of the narrative in new and different ways. And if you do want to be kept all up to date on City at War, I will leave a link in the description to my previous video where I did go over a small preview of the first issue of the series. But for this video in particular, we are going over some very awesome variant comic covers that do relate to City at War in really awesome ways, showing off separate villains for Spider-Man to face off against. And while these covers do showcase the villains in really cool and beautiful artwork pieces, there is another variant cover which does show off a villain which was teased in Spider-Man PS4 but never fully shown up until now. So first off, we do have a variant cover of the second issue to City at War showcasing the beautiful advanced suit from Spider-Man PS4 along with Insomniac's iteration of Electro in full glory. And besides looking at the detail of the advanced suit along with Electro's design overall, the background image of the electric web patterning is simply beautiful to look at, which was drawn beautifully by David Nakayama. And in comparison, seeing how this artwork is going to be the standard issue cover for the second part of City at War, this variant cover of Spider-Man going up against Electro is simply awesome to look at. And even though we only have a brief preview of City at War, which does showcase pretty much the beginning of Spider-Man PS4's story, I really hope that we do see a lot of characters from the game appear within this comic series. But moving on to the third issue of City at War, we do have both the standard cover as well as the variant cover of the third part of this series, which are both beautiful pieces of art to look at. So as you see right here, the standard artwork for issue 3 of City at War is going to be the Grand Central Terminal Station mission during the game, where you do have to try and take out Mr. Negative and the Inner Demons with MJ helping you at your side. And honestly, out of all the covers that we have received thus far, this one is definitely my favorite. Just looking at all the detail that's within Spider-Man's advanced suit, along with Mr. Negative shooting his negative energy in the background and the Inner Demons involved in this cover as well, plus MJ trying to disable the Devil's Breath bomb, I love all the detail that was put within this amazing artwork. Especially if you do take your time to look at all the details within this artwork in general, you will see how much the creators of this series truly love the game and every aspect that the story entailed throughout all the missions. And again, since City at War is indeed a retelling of the game's story with some few twists here and there during the narrative of the series, I do think it is going to be a really cool thing to dive into once it does fully release. As for the third issue's variant cover, we do have an awesome artwork piece between Spider-Man in his advanced suit and Shocker in his Insomniac design, which just looks awesome with the money flowing in the background. So seeing that we do have a huge expansion of artwork ranging from the main stages that did take place within the game to iconic moments featuring some of Spidey's classic villains in the game itself, I do think this is definitely going to be a series to check out if you do really want to get more into Spider-Man PS4's universe. And while these main covers and variant covers are all really awesome to look at for issues 2 and 3, the most important one out of the bunch is actually relating to issue number 1. And in case you missed it, Bill Roseman himself did tweet about this a few days ago, saying, "Daily Bugle breaking news. The Lizard leaps in the classic villains variant cover to Marvel's Spider-Man City at War number 1 by Giuseppe Camuncoli and @Dav Curiel. Written by @HopelessDent, drawn by @Michelle_Bandini, on sale in March, @Marvel Games, @Insomniac Games, #Spider-Man PS4. And yes, you guys did hear me right, the Lizard is actually going to be featured in one of Spider-Man City at War's variant covers with the first issue of the entire series. And in case you didn't get a glance at it yourself, this is what the artwork for the variant cover to Spider-Man City at War issue 1 actually looks like, with Spider-Man facing off against the Lizard. Now I understand that this is simply a variant cover, but Bill Roseman is extremely adamant towards saying that this does indeed connect to the Spider-Man PS4 universe of the comic series. And alongside of this, the artists that Bill lists that worked on this variant cover are indeed confirming that this is indeed part of the Spider-Man PS4 City at War storyline. Although if you have been reading the most recent Spidey comics, you will notice a similarity between the Ryan Ottley design for Lizard within the Spidey series that is currently happening, and also this Lizard design which is apparently connecting to City at War. And even though these Lizard designs are extremely extremely similar, it is confirmed that they are separate from the other artists that have worked on each of these series. Furthermore, if you have been keeping up with all the Spider-Man PS4 lore, you will know that we did get major teases of the Lizard within the base game of Spider-Man PS4, as well as within the prequel novel of the game within Hostile Takeover. So in case you haven't read the Hostile Takeover prequel novel, it was confirmed within pretty much the first chapter of the book that the Lizard is one of the villains that Spider-Man has fought in the past. So besides going up against the majority of the Sinister Six members within Spider-Man's past like Electro, Rhino, Scorpion, and etc., the Lizard is also another person on that list. And as we all know from what Spidey said when he was out collecting backpacks, he did state that he made an antidote for the Lizard's blood to turn him back into Dr. Connors. However, it didn't last. Meaning that as we speak as of this moment, Dr. Kirk Connors is still out there somewhere within Marvel's New York, still in his Lizard form. And even though it's unsure whether or not we will receive some Lizard storylines within City at War, I do think that this is a clear glimpse as to what he looks like within Spider-Man PS4's universe. And in my opinion, even though it is just a standard Lizard design, I love how they are sticking with the classic roots of this awesome character. Like we see throughout the majority of Spider-Man PS4, the main members of the Sinister Six did have awesome redesigns with their costumes thanks to the upgrades that Otto Octavius gave them as Dr. Octopus. But since Dr. Connors didn't interact with Peter or the main members of the Sinister Six during Spider-Man PS4's story, it would make sense that he would still look like his classic Lizard self. And seeing how the artist decided to keep the lab coat and the purple pants on this version of the Lizard, again, I fully appreciate the classic design that they are going with this version of the character. For me personally, one of my favorite designs of the Lizard is actually from the new animated series Spider-Man show that was all the way back in 2003, since he did look extremely reptilian in that series. As for my least favorite design of the character himself, it would obviously have to go to the Amazing Spider-Man movie, since they did make him more humanoid than reptilian in that film, which I do understand the direction that they went with that character in the movie, but I do like the more classic design of the Lizard that they are clearly giving within this comic. And knowing that this may be our first glimpse of the Spider-Man PS4's version of the Lizard in comic form, I can't wait to see what type of design he's going to have in the next game, hopefully if he is featured in the sequel. And given how beautiful this Lizard variant cover is compared to the first issue's main cover, I really hope that we do receive some background of Kirk Connors within this game's universe through the City at War storyline. This would also make sense why Peter is wearing his classic suit in the Lizard variant cover, because in the storyline of City at War issue 1, Peter has yet to craft his advanced suit before he goes to take on Wilson Fisk. So maybe during the storyline, while he is off swinging to Fisk Tower to take down Kingpin, it could show off some flashback memories of Peter fighting other villains in his classic Spidey outfit. And knowing that the Lizard might just be one of those villains, and again, hopefully he does have some kind of role in the potential sequel to Spider-Man PS4, that would just be absolutely amazing to see be played out. But until the first issue of City at War releases on March 20th, everyone, that's the video that I have for you today, and please let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think of all these variant covers for City at War, and does this make you even more hyped for the comic in general? Overall, the more artwork I see of this series, the more excited I am to pick up each and every issue. And knowing that the writers are going to provide new perspectives on certain parts of the game within this series just makes me even more excited to where the story could possibly go. But until next time, everyone, thank you all so much for watching. Stay spectacular, Spidey fans. Peace out.
Genus Aranii, at your service.